now, Georgia's agriculture commissioner says his hands are tied if critics expect him to help stop a controversial method of farming. It's called soil amendment spraying, a practice the Fox 5 I-team has been looking into for months now.
Fox 5 I-team reporter Randy Travis asked Commissioner Gary Black whether he has a conflict of interest affecting his decisions. Randy?
Yeah, Courtney, that's certainly the belief in these counties, upset that the state has not been more aggressive. But the commissioner, nearing the end of his third and final term, is adamant. He just wants to get the right rules in place before he leaves office.
A lot of public want us to do away with it. And that's what the comment says. Well, I can't do that.
We just put these up today. Look at that. Fully covered.
But it's easy to see why the public wants this kind of practice to disappear. Across rural Georgia, farmers are allowing companies to spray liquid waste on their land. The legal term is soil amendments. Byproducts from food processing operations searching for some way of disposing of the millions of gallons generated each year.
It's unbelievable, the worst smell that we have. We've never had this smell before, never.
The practice is regulated by the Georgia Department of Agriculture, soon to issue revised rules for what can be sprayed. But don't expect any attempt here to cut down on the flies and stink.
If something were to become a nuisance, then that would be between the people involved.
Commissioner Gary Black believes the soil amendments provide real nutrients that can help a farmer grow crops.
A lot of farmers have my phone, and I've never gotten a call when a farmer who was engaged and took, received material, whatever, called for it, whatever the arrangement is, and said, "Oh, I'll never do that again."
The farmers are being compensated for taking the soil amendment? Do you know how much they get paid?
I do not.
So not only are they getting fertilizer for free, they're actually getting paid to take the fertilizer.
Yeah, let's be careful and don't call it fertilizer, because, literally, let's keep our terms straight.
Not a fertilizer. That's what supporters call it.
It's just liquid fertilizer. That's it.
You're not displacing or replacing fertilizer with this. I guess that's the reason why it's called an amendment.
But the confusion doesn't stop there.
I think there's more people complaining, but nobody making no headway about it.
This retiree in Jefferson County says for more than 60 days straight, he watched soil amendments sprayed across the road from his home. The company doing the spraying said the farmer wasn't growing a crop, just grass to feed his cattle.
How can you tell somebody what they can do with their own property?
Jefferson County is one of nearly a dozen across Georgia asking Black for the power to inspect soil amendment operations and crack down on those that cause a nuisance. Black has repeatedly rejected the idea.
I think a hodgepodge of regulations across the state would be not good. But I hear them, but I can't do anything about that. The legislature would have to. I can't do that in this rule.
But the commissioner's reluctance to protect homeowners has generated its own stink.
Well, I'm going to tell you my personal opinion. I don't care for Gary Black. He's not helping the public. He's helping his family.
The commissioner's son works for a company connected to Casey Cronin, one of the big players in the transport of soil amendments. According to the company's website, they sell compost-based soil amendments. Ward Black tells the Fox 5 I-team he's never worked in the liquid soil amendment industry and knows nothing about it.
He is general manager and he sells compost.
Has he ever gotten involved in the soil amendment part of the business?
Not to my knowledge. I know they have discussions. He sells to nursery growers, like folks that do potting plants.
Black insists no one in his family has any financial connection to the industry he's charged with regulating.
The public can be sure that I have no interest in this stuff, but we have an interest in making sure the product, the program is run correctly.
Black says he hopes to have a revised set of rules ready before the end of this month for the public to review.
Well, with all due respect to the commissioner, and I do respect him, I can understand why those residents are not satisfied. I mean, it sounds like he's telling them there's nothing I can do for you. What are they supposed to do? Sue, and sue who?
Right. They're supposed to go after each other. He says the state is not part of it. He says because the General Assembly has basically made this process legal, he has to work from that to set up rules. And he can't set up a rule that says no flies, because that would be impossible to enforce.
Right.
He wants
if you have that issue, and that's what really people are upset about, is the smell and the flies.
wouldn't be, honestly?
You wouldn't want that next to your house, obviously, especially if you moved out into rural Georgia hoping to get away from all of that, or farmers that are used to that sort of smell, and all of a sudden they're being inundated with something that they've really never had to deal with before. But yeah, I mean, Gary Black says that if you're looking for help from him as far as the flies and the smells, you're not going to get it.
Well, it's kind of leaving neighbors with what seems like no easy options to mitigate this issue.
I mean, the issue is to go to your state lawmaker and try to get the big law changed, or at least amended in a way that perhaps will help you fight back if it becomes a nuisance.
Okay.
Well, you have shed light on it. Randy, thanks.
Okay.